right, good morning, everyone. Okay, happy Saturday morning. Nice to see you all. So bright and early on Saturday morning, so appreciate y'all being here for our 37th Senior Law Day here in El Paso County. My name is Vincent Rahaman. I'm the probate court magistrate here in El Paso County, down at the probate court at the courthouse. And just on behalf of all my staff, on behalf of the folks that put this together and the Senior Center, I just wanted to welcome you all to our Senior Law Day. Speakers that you'll be hearing from this morning have many, many years of experience, and our hope is that you're going to leave this conference with just bunches and bunches of information to help you sort of, as you go forward and you plan your lives, your loved ones' lives going forward. And so that is the hope today. We've got a number of presentations. We've got lawyers that have volunteered their time to meet with you, and you're going to get an explanation of what the rest of the morning, the rest of the day is going to look like. Can I ask you to just join me in recognizing a couple of folks who made this conference this conference possible this year? Zoe Tanner. Zoe, thanks very much. Zoe pretty much herded cats over the last 6 or 7 months in helping us put this all together. Okay, all right. So Zoe Tanner, there's Rabia Taylor, Norma De Jesus. I'm not sure if Norma's here. Devin Coleman. There's Devin right back there. Thanks, Devin, very much. Laura McKiernan. Laura back there in the blue. Laura is the executive director of the El Paso County Bar Association. Has been on the job 5-6 months. Yep, 6 months. Okay, all right. Erica Walters, Erica, thank you very much. Lindsay Pouncey, tons and tons of volunteers. So my apologies to anybody that I might have missed, and not to mention the sponsors that are in the large room right behind you. Rocky Mountain Pace. Oh gosh, who else do we have? Brookdale Senior Living, our major sponsor. Life After 50. Carolyn Becker, Caption Call. Hope you've all had a chance to go back there and meet those folks and get some information from them. So I just wanted to again thank you all for being here this morning. And Zoe's going to come up and just give you a little bit more information on kind of the logistics for today. Okay, nice to see you all. Thanks very much. Take good care. Have a good rest of the day. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. We are so excited to have you here today. I hope this is really useful. At registration, you got some surveys. We want to help. So anything that you're interested in learning about next year, please write it on that survey, give it to us as you exit so that we can provide the best information for you possible. We have 4 sessions that are going to begin after this current session. There's also Ask a Lawyer. Ask a Lawyer is one-on-one time with an attorney to ask basic questions, and that is going to be in the room that's directly behind our sponsors in the center of the Senior Center. The other sessions are going to be clockwise from here. This is room 1, room 2, room 3, and room 4. So we have breaks in between so that you can navigate to your room. We'll start here with a presentation by Roma Constanza is our first presentation, and then a presentation by Sean Dana on advanced care planning. In room number 2, you'll have a presentation by Erica Walters about Medicaid issues, supplemental needs, I'm really nervous this morning. She will, thank you. She will be presenting about non-probate assets. So a little bit more of that estate planning piece and how to, some tools that you can use to not have a probate when you pass away. In room number 3, for our first session, we will have Detective Deborah Worley and Detective Rob Walks talking about how to detect and avoid scams. And then in room number 4, we have a substitution this morning. Rather than Rabia Taylor, it'll be Ryan Morey, who's a wonderful attorney, talking about Medicaid and supplemental needs benefits. After the initial session, rooms 1 and 3 are going to swap because we are recording these sessions so that we can have them available for you later if you'd like to watch them again. I'll be around if you have any questions, if you need anything at all, come talk to me. I can help answer. Now I'd like to invite Devin Coleman up. Devin is a professional guardian, and he is going to let you know about some trainings that he has if you're serving as a fiduciary for someone that you love. And thank you so much for being here this morning. I'm excited that we have so many participants. Thank you.
Hello? Hello? Okay. Hi, as Zoe said, my name is Devin Coleman. I'm a professional guardian here in town. What I'm wanting to talk with you guys about is I actually am part of a fiduciary education committee. It's part of the Elder Abuse Coalition. A lot of people don't know what the word fiduciary actually means. It just basically means you're in charge of somebody else's stuff. Is the basic description of it. You know, people who act as powers of attorney, guardians, conservators for other people. And we are offering non-professional training for family guardians and conservators and powers of attorney once every quarter. It's free of charge. It's an all-day Saturday training, kind of like this, that goes over the roles and your responsibilities for acting in those roles. So if you're serving as a power of attorney or wanting to be a guardian, or if you want somebody to serve as your power of attorney, please come find me, and I have flyers for our next couple trainings here. Thank you.
All right, so good morning. My name is Roma. I am with the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments Area Agency on Aging, and I am the coordinator for the SHIP program, our State Health Insurance Assistance Program. And today we are going to talk about, I'm going to provide you with general overview of some of the more important government benefits that people may be eligible or entitled to. So I appreciate you guys coming today and listening to our talk. Let's see, there's some stuff off here. So today is just going to be a introduction to some benefits, as well as who to contact or how to apply for these benefits. So again, I'm with the Area Agency on Aging, and the mission of the Area Agency on Aging is to work with our partner governments in our 3-county region, which is El Paso, Park, and Teller, to coordinate and create systems that allow people to stay in their homes for as long as possible. And again, I am the coordinator for the SHIP program within the Area Agency on Aging. The SHIP program is a federally funded program that's specifically designed to provide information, education, and assistance on all things Medicare. Anybody who has questions, concerns, is just becoming eligible for Medicare, needs help during open enrollment, that is what the SHIP program does. We do not sell anything. We do not endorse any specific companies or products. We are true consumer advocates that are here to assist people with anything having to do with Medicare. As the SHIP agency for our region, I actually cover a total of 9 counties in Colorado for this assistance. We also can assist people with applying for financial assistance programs such as Medicare savings and extra help for their Part D as well as Medicaid. Every county in every state has access to a SHIP. This is a federal program. All services are always free. And I've provided our local Colorado Springs number as well as our statewide toll-free number. Depending on where you're calling that toll-free number in the state, it will route you directly to the office, the SHIP office closest to where you're calling from. And every state should have a toll-free number in that regards. So again, today we're gonna just talk briefly about some different benefits that people may be eligible for or may already have. We're gonna cover Social Security. We're gonna talk about Medicare. We're gonna talk about Medicaid. And then we're gonna talk briefly about VA benefits. So we'll start with Social Security. Most people don't realize that Social Security benefits are based on work history. So you have to have employment and pay taxes through that employment to be eligible for Social Security in the future. You have to earn at least 10 years worth of work history based on a formula through Social Security, or what they equate that to 40 credits. Social Security benefits for most people are going to be income, whether it's retirement or disability. And the amount of income that you are entitled to from Social Security does vary based on that work history, how long you worked, how much you earned when you worked, which equates to how much you paid in taxes. Social Security for retirement purposes can be collected as early as age 62. Most people collect it at full retirement age, which these days is 66 and 6 months, maybe. I forget how, because it keeps advancing. But at age 70, if you aren't collecting Social Security benefits yet, you might as well start, because that is the maximum amount you're going to get. The longer you wait to start collecting those benefits, the more you might get in benefit per month, because basically they're going to have fewer months in which to pay that out over the rest of your lifetime. If you continue to work past full retirement age and you're still contributing into that tax system, your benefits will continue to grow because you're still paying into the system. But again, once you reach age 70, it becomes a moot point, because that is what they consider your max amount. Benefits can be available to the worker who has the work history, or to their spouse. If their spouse was a stay-at-home parent, their spouse may be able to collect Social Security benefits off the worker's work history as long as they were married for at least 10 years. That is also true for ex-spouses, potentially. So in that scenario, if there's a spouse that did not have work history or did not have enough work history to collect Social Security on their own benefit, they may be eligible to collect up to half of the amount of their working spouse's benefit. And again, that does apply potentially to ex-spouses as well. Survivor benefits through Social Security are going to be benefits for people who typically are a widow or widower. It's going to be income for spouses, ex-spouses, and dependents, dependent parents or children from a deceased worker. So if you were married and your spouse has passed away, you could potentially get benefits based solely on that event if you are typically under your own full retirement age. In a survivor benefit scenario, you could potentially get the full amount that the deceased worker was earning, depending on whether or not you're the spouse and how old you are when you start collecting those benefits, or whether or not you are, whether or not you have a dependent child in your care. The rules for Social Security can be complicated, to put it lightly. So when it comes to Social Security, anything, the bottom line is, if you have a question about Social Security, you need to ask Social Security. Social Security does not like to talk to anybody but you. They won't talk to anybody but you. They don't even recognize power of attorneys. So it becomes really important to make sure that you are talking to them directly and that you are asking the right questions when it comes to what benefits you might be eligible for. Social Security, you can also receive benefits if you have been determined to be disabled and you are under full retirement age. To be determined to be disabled, you have to meet certain medical criteria, of course. And the whole purpose of disability benefits through Social Security is it is designed to be assistance for people who have been working but are no longer able to work due to a medical issue. And that medical issue has to last for at least a year or be expected to result in your death. Applying for disability can take a little bit of time because it does require a lot of documentation of that medical condition that is causing you to apply and not be able to work and have gainful employment. But once you're approved, it does result in a monthly income that is not going to be probably close to what you were making while you were working, but you know, a good percentage of what your work income would have been. Once you are approved for disability and are receiving income payments, after 24 income payments, regardless of age, you also become eligible automatically for Medicare benefits, for the healthcare benefit. And then supplemental security income through Social Security is a cash benefit. It's a benefit designed to assist people who may not qualify for disability, may not be retirement age, but are currently not able to work. And that's going to, again, be a cash benefit. It'll provide a monthly income up to the monthly federal poverty limit. You still have to meet most of the disability criteria, physical criteria, if you're under 65. So if you have had or have a disabled dependent child who has never been able to work or is not going to be able to work, they may be eligible for SSI. If someone is over 65 and you are low income, meaning your income is below the limit for this program, you may be able to apply without meeting the physical disability criteria so that it supplements any current income you have. So over 65, you do not have to meet the disability criteria, but under 65, you would have to meet the disability criteria. And again, it's going to provide a cash monthly income. And as I mentioned, the rules for Social Security are complicated. I mean, every time I have to look up a rule for Social Security, it is a couple of hours worth of research just to dig through all of the regulations. But if you have questions, you need to talk to Social Security because again, they will only talk to you. They will not talk to anybody else on your behalf. And they should be able to tell you what you need to know as far as eligibility, because they determine eligibility. They are the ones who keep track of those taxes and that work history to determine who gets benefits when they retire. They are the ones you have to go to apply for disability or SSI. So talking to them directly or communicating with them directly is the most important thing you can do. You can apply for some of these benefits online. Social Security is really encouraging people to go to their website. They're really encouraging people to create a personalized Social Security account on that website. There are a lot of advantages to doing that. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, and it really is very secure. There are some benefits that you can't do online or apply for online, and you have to actually contact them directly and sit down and have that conversation with them. But again, only Social Security can verify eligibility, do enrollments into these programs, and pay out these benefits. I have also provided the toll-free number for Social Security. That number is available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in all time zones. I've also provided our local regional office here in Colorado Springs. We're lucky enough to have a Social Security office here in town.
So right here.
And the
Just
website.
pin it. Okay.
Because I am with the Pikes Peak Area Agency on Aging, if anybody has any questions about anything we talk about today, you're always welcome to give us a call, and we are always happy to talk to you about these benefits and point you in the right direction. So we'll talk about Medicare here briefly. Most of you are probably familiar with Medicare. It is a federal health care benefit that is also determined by work history, paying into the tax system. So when we work, we pay taxes. Some of those taxes go to Social Security, some of those taxes go to Medicare. To be eligible for Medicare, you have to be a US citizen and age into it, turn 65. Or if you're under 65, you have to be determined to be disabled by Social Security. And then any legal resident alien who has resided in this country for at least 5 consecutive years is eligible to purchase Medicare. Social Security, again, is in control of who gets Medicare because they're the ones who keep track of that tax money coming in, and your work history. You do have to have that 10 years worth of history over the course of your entire lifetime. So as soon as you worked for a total of 10 years and meet that eligibility requirement, whether that was the first 10 years when you got out of high school, or it took 10 years of part-time work over a 30-year period. As soon as you have that 10 years of work history paid into the system, you automatically become eligible for Medicare when you are 65. So you have to enroll in Medicare through Social Security. They are the ones who are in control of that. Some people may automatically get enrolled in Medicare by Social Security, and those people are going to be, again, if you have been on disability at under age 65 and you have received those 24 disability payments, you'll automatically be enrolled in Medicare because of that disability. If you are collecting a Social Security income, whether it's early retirement income or retirement income, if you're collecting an income of any kind from Social Security, when you become eligible for Medicare at 65, you'll automatically be enrolled in Medicare. If neither of those scenarios apply to you, it becomes your responsibility to contact Social Security and let them know if you want Medicare. There is only one excuse Social Security will accept for not enrolling in Medicare when you first become eligible, and that is if you are actively employed and have employer group health coverage through that employment. In that scenario, you would be able to delay enrollment into Medicare because you are still working and you have that employer coverage. And when you stop working and lose that coverage, you'd be allowed to enroll in Medicare without any penalty. If you choose not to enroll in Medicare when you turn 65 and you're not working, you may be looking at penalties when you enroll in the future. So there are specific that you do need to be aware of. The 3 primary enrollment periods to get into Medicare are going to be the initial enrollment period, and that's going to be surrounding your initial eligibility, usually turning age 65. And that's a 7-month window surrounding that 65th month birthday. You get a special enrollment period if you delayed getting into Medicare because you were working. So again, if you're actively employed, you can delay enrollment into Medicare. When you stop working, you have up to 8 months to enroll in Medicare from that point. But again, if you did not enroll in Medicare when you were first eligible, you were not actively working, Medicare will let you enroll in those benefits any year down the road during their general enrollment period. That's January 1st through March 31st every year. If you are enrolling in that general enrollment period because you did not enroll in the other 2 opportunities, you are likely to have to pay a higher premium for your Medicare benefits in the form of a penalty because you did not enroll when you were initially eligible. Penalties for not enrolling in Medicare can add up pretty quickly and they accumulate. So if you wait 3 years to enroll in Medicare, you're looking at a 10% penalty per year times 3 years. And what they do is they take that 10% times 3 years, they multiply it by the monthly premium that you would be paying the year you enroll. Whatever that amount comes out to is going to be tacked on top of that monthly premium. every month forever. Penalties are every month forever. They never go away. So we usually really encourage you not to delay enrollment into Medicare if you don't have to. And again, if you're still working, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're not working, it's really a benefit that you should consider enrolling in so you don't incur those penalties. The other thing you might need to be aware of when it comes to paying for Medicare is Medicare several years ago went to a means tested premium model. What that means is if someone has a significant income for a single person that starts this year at $91,000 or more, which is, yeah, not going to apply to a lot of people, but for those that it might apply to, those people whose income is over 91,000 will have to pay a higher premium simply because they make higher income. And there are different tiers of higher income. The more they make, the more they have to pay in premiums. Social Security does look at that every year. So if someone is just retiring, they were working, they had a high income while they were working, but then they retired and that income has now been cut in half. Because Social Security has to look at the income from the previous year when they're determining who has to pay more. You may have to pay more when you first enroll in Medicare, but when they look at it again the next year and they see your income is cut in half, they'll reduce that amount and you won't have to continue to pay more now that your income is lower. But it is something that they did initiate several years ago to help shore up some of the monies in that trust fund. There are, once you are enrolled in Medicare, there are 3 primary parts of Medicare that you need to be aware of. Medicare Part A is going to cover your inpatient services, hospitalizations, rehab stays, that kind of stuff. Most people, when they become eligible and enrolled in Medicare, will be able to get Part A at no cost. That's where that 10 years worth of work history or those 40 credits come into play. As soon as you have that 10 years worth of work history paid into the system, you automatically earn Part A at no cost. That's your inpatient benefit of Medicare. Medicare Part B, which covers all outpatient services, everybody has to pay for. Everybody pays a premium for Part B. There is financial assistance available. So there's financial assistance programs that people can apply for if they are on limited or low income to help cover the cost of the Part B premium. Because as some of you may be well aware, that Part B premium jumped up quite a bit this year to $170.10 a month, which is a nice chunk of change. So for those that might be struggling or have limited or low income, there could be financial assistance available to help cover that cost for you. And then there's Medicare Part D. This is actually the newest benefit of Medicare. Went into effect in 2006. Prior to 2006, Medicare did not cover drugs, not have a pharmacy benefit. It was an out-of-pocket cost for everybody. But in 2006, Part D was created. It has run remarkably well, considering how fast it was created and implemented, because it was done in less than a year once they decided to do it. Part D can be a little more complicated, but on the other hand, you have an annual opportunity to look at any Part D options to make sure that you are getting the best drug coverage you can get every year from all of the Part D options that might be available. That refers to the annual open enrollment period, which is coming up really, really quick. October 15th is when open enrollment starts. And that's your opportunity to review your drug coverage or your Advantage plan, if you have an Advantage plan with drug coverage. And any of the options might be available next year. And if you find an option that might be better than what you have this year, you have that opportunity to make that change to that better coverage for next year. Our office, our agency, as a SHIP program, assists with open enrollment and we're helping people review those options every year. And so we're happy to help people who want to take a look at their options to see if there's not something more cost effective that they could get into for next year. And we're happy to do that. If anybody wants more information about that, you're always welcome to contact our office. I have several brochures out on the table out there, as well as some postcards about open enrollment specifically, with just a reminder dates. Some of you may have heard the term Part C, Medicare Part C. That is not actually a part of Medicare. That typically refers to Advantage plans. So when someone says Medicare Part C, they're talking about Medicare Advantage plans, which is basically just an option that you can get when you have Medicare. It's a type of coverage that you can have when you get Medicare. But it's not, there is no actual Part C of Medicare technically. So again, Medicare Part A covers your inpatient, and that's the best rule of thumb for Medicare is Part A is inpatient, Part B is outpatient. Drugs. Costs, again, most people will get Part A at no cost because you had work history or you have been able to get that benefit off a spouse's work history. But if you have to pay for Part A, it's not cheap. For 2022, high-end premium for Part A alone, $499 a month, just for Part A. So if there's any way you can get it without having to pay for it, that's the way to go. Part A benefits are subject to deductibles and coinsurances or services. So basically, if you have an inpatient hospital stay, Medicare Part A is going to cover the entire cost of that stay except for a deductible. This year, that deductible is $1,556 per admission. Not per year, but per admission. But that's regardless of whether or not that hospital stay was a $5,000 stay or a $500,000 stay. Medicare pays all of that except for that deductible. Again, Part B services, that's the benefit of Medicare that you pay that monthly premium for. Most of us will pay $170.10 this year. As we all know, Part B premiums go up every year. And we have no idea what it's looking like for next year yet. Part B services are also subject to a deductible. It's an annual deductible, so one time a year. And for this year, it is $223, which as far as deductibles go is a drop in the bucket these days. Once you meet that deductible, Medicare Part B pays for most of those services at an 80-20 split. Medicare pays 80%, leaves a 20% balance or coinsurance. And then Part D works a little bit differently because Medicare has contracted directly with private insurance companies to act as Part D for them. So Medicare pays insurance companies to provide drug coverage benefits to you. That's why there are so many choices for your Part D benefit. So when you enroll in a Part D plan, you're actually paying a monthly premium to an insurance company for that benefit. Premiums for plans this year, and there were a total of 20 Part D plans available to choose from in 2022, ranged from as low as $5.50 a month to well over $100 a month. And what you paid is dependent on what medications you take, what pharmacies you use, and that kind of stuff. Again, because there is such a wide range of costs and options, that's the whole point of open enrollment, is so that you can look at all of those options to make sure that you have the best coverage and the most cost-effective coverage you can get every year. In addition to premiums, we all have to pay copays at the pharmacy, and some plans may have a deductible that you also have to meet, meaning you have to pay full price for your medications until you've spent the amount of the deductible, and then you go into copays. And again, there could be financial assistance for both Medicare costs and Part D costs. So for Medicare costs, for Part A and B assistance, there are programs called Medicare savings programs. These programs are specifically designed to help pay the costs of Medicare itself. But as with all assistance programs, it's going to be based on income and asset limits as whether or not you're eligible. And at minimum, if you qualify, it will pay your Part B premiums so that they do not take that $170.10 a month out of your Social Security check, or you don't have to write that check. But there are different levels of assistance available. And so at the least, they'll pay that premium. But if you are in the lower income and asset bracket, they may not only pay that premium, but they may also pay your Medicare deductibles and your co-insurances. So if anybody wants more information with that, we do help with those applications. Even though the Medicare savings programs are not a Medicaid program, you apply for them through the Medicaid system and the Medicaid department, just because that's how the state has determined it's easiest to process those applications. And again, we help with those. Then there's also assistance for Part D and Part D costs. Income and asset limits also apply, but the income and asset limits for Part D assistance are higher than the income and asset limits for the Medicare savings programs. So in theory, more people should qualify for help with their drug costs than with their medical costs. The Part D assistance is actually applied through Social Security. They provide that assistance directly. Again, there are different levels of assistance that people can qualify for, but any level of assistance that someone may qualify for will reduce premiums for Part D, reduce deductibles, and reduce copays at the pharmacy. So at any level of assistance, it's worth applying for and getting approved for, because it will save lots of money on your medications. You can apply for that program online at the Social Security website, or you can call the national toll-free number for Social Security. I've listed it again. Or you can come see your local SHIP office. We help with these applications as well. So anybody who wants more information or has any questions about any of these programs, you're always welcome to contact us, and we're happy to help you understand the programs and the eligibility criteria. So for more information about Medicare in general, because Medicare rules can be complex, just the rules surrounding enrollment and enrollment periods can be amazingly confusing. Or coverage options or benefits or claims problems or Medicare denied a service, anything like that. That's what the SHIP program is here for, and this is what we do. We help people with any of those issues. But other resources, you can call Medicare directly. Medicare is available by phone, national toll-free number, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There is no brick and mortar location for Medicare. You can only reach them by phone, or you can get more information through their website, medicare.gov. But again, if anybody wants any local assistance about Medicare in any regards, this is what we're here for. This is what we're trained to do. We'd like to consider ourselves Medicare experts. I've been doing this almost 23 years. So I'd like to think that I can help you if you have any questions about any of your Medicare benefits. If you wanted more information about the SHIP program in general, because again, this is a nationwide program, you can always go to the shiphelp.org website for information, just general information about SHIP. All right, so let's talk briefly about Medicaid. Medicaid can be just as complicated as Medicare and Social Security. Medicaid is a state-run benefit based on needs. So it's typically going to be based on income and asset requirements or limits. In Colorado, a few years ago, we renamed our Medicaid program to Health First Colorado. So again, Medicaid is going to be health benefits primarily, but eligibility is going to be based on income and or asset limits. Other eligibility criteria is, depending on what kind of program you're applying for, is if you're pregnant or are responsible for someone under 18, if you're blind, if you have a disability or a family member with a disability, or if you're 65 or older. That's the short list. Again, because it's need-based, there has to be financial need or physical need. A lot of people don't realize that there are at least 40 different kinds of Medicaid in Colorado alone. Some states have less, some states have more, but there are 40 or more different kinds of Medicaid programs just in Colorado, depending on someone's situation. Some people may automatically qualify for Medicaid. So if someone has applied for SSI, Supplemental Security Income, and are approved for that benefit, that cash benefit, those people will automatically be enrolled in Colorado Medicaid. If you are low income, or if you are eligible for Medicaid because of the expanded Medicaid benefits, Obamacare, they may only look at income. They may not look at assets. But most programs for people over age 60 are going to look at income and assets, and possibly physical need to be eligible for any of the Medicaid programs that you might be eligible for. Medicaid can be applied for a number of ways. You can request a paper application, fill it out and mail it in. You can go online to their website and download the application, print it out, send it in, or you can apply on their website and do an electronic application. Be prepared to have documentation ready, because all Medicaid applications are going to require proof of income. They're going to usually require proof of your expenses, and those sort of things. So you're going to want to have paperwork ready when you sit down and do an application. Or you can call the statewide Medicaid customer service number, and they would be able to help you do an application over the phone. Well, you can also contact your local SHIP office, because we help with Medicaid applications as well. So programs that are going to be most relevant to people over age 60, the Medicare savings programs. Again, technically Medicare savings is not a Medicaid program, but that is how you must apply for it, is through the Medicaid system. Long-term care programs are pretty common, whether it's HCBS, which is to help cover services to keep you at home versus going into a facility. Long-term care also covers some of the cost for being in assisted living or nursing care facility. And it also is the criteria to enroll in PACE, which is a kind of like a home and community-based service system that allows you to stay at home longer, or for as long as possible. Other programs that might be available are old age pension. Old age pension is similar to SSI. It's a cash benefit that is going to supplement any existing income that you have if that income is below a certain amount. And then home care allowance is a benefit that would give you a cash stipend. It's not usually a very big amount of money per month, so that you can use that money to pay someone to help you in home, give you some care at home. And then the other most commonly applied for program is going to be SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, food stamps, basically. Because of the pandemic, if you have applied for SNAP or you are receiving SNAP, you have been getting the maximum amount, which has been awesome. Some people can't even spend that much money, although these days that's not quite the case. But eventually the pandemic is going to be declared over, and SNAP benefits may be reduced. Hopefully people who get SNAP will get notice of that well in advance, but even a small amount of SNAP benefits can be helpful as far as getting food to get you through the month. And again, we help with applications for all of these programs. If you have questions about Medicaid benefits, or want to talk about whether or not you have eligibility for any of these benefits, or just want more information about what benefits might be available to you, you can always call that toll-free number, the state customer service number, or you can come talk to us. I've also brought a publication that explains these programs in a little bit more detail. It's out on our table. It's the Colorado Adult Medicaid Programs and Veterans Benefits booklet. And then lastly, we are going to talk about veterans benefits briefly. So veterans benefits are going to be for veterans, people who served in the military, usually had active duty, and potentially may have had active duty during a conflict. The other eligibility criteria is you have to have been honorably discharged in most cases to qualify. Most benefits, whether you are looking at receiving income or pension benefits or medical assistance benefits, most benefits are going to be based on some sort of income or asset limit, as well as that service requirement, having had a specific amount of time in the service or serving during a specific time. There are a lot of different income benefits or pension benefits that might be available to someone. Those pension benefits are typically going to require a disability of some sort or medical need. So the programs that might be available are programs for homebound people that provides a monthly cash pension to help cover the costs of care in the home, aid in attendance. PACE is also a benefit of veterans benefits. And then there's the Veteran Directed Care Program. All of these programs are designed to help you stay at home for as long as possible versus going into a facility. Medical benefits for veterans have slightly different criteria. You still have to meet a certain amount of service or active duty or combat duty, and you have to usually be honorably discharged from the service. Medical benefits can be available for people who have service-connected disabilities or non-service connected disabilities. Pension benefits can be available for service or non-service connected disabilities, but there has to be some sort of disability eligibility to be eligible for those benefits. Other criteria may apply. Medical benefits can be available for inpatient services or outpatient services or mental health services. So there are different levels of eligibility, which determine what level of access to medical facilities someone might be qualified for. And then veterans are also able to access usually long-term care benefits. So if someone is in a situation where they actually need to go into a facility for a long-term care stay, they might be able to access the VA community living centers, contracted nursing homes, or the state nursing homes for that long-term care. Again, there has to be a disability or a medical need. Other benefits that might be available to veterans are going to be adult day services. There's a home improvement or structural alteration benefit, which is usually a one-time grant that can provide like a bathroom modification. So if someone's in a wheelchair, it may pay for the bathroom to be modified so that it's wheelchair accessible or the shower's wheelchair accessible. And then there's the prosthetics program department for people who may need wheelchairs or power wheelchairs or ramps installed in their home, that kind of stuff. VA benefits and eligibility criteria can be complicated. None of these systems are usually pretty easy to navigate, but there's always entities out there that are able to help navigate these programs and application processes. Easiest way to get that assistance is going to be through local veteran service organizations like the DAV, those kind of organizations, or you can always contact your local county veteran service office. Every county in Colorado has a veteran service officer that will help them with eligibility determinations, gathering documentation, and applications. You can call the toll-free number listed on the slide to find the closest VA service office in the county that you live in. You can go online to colorado.gov and search for it, or in the booklet that I mentioned earlier that describes adult benefits for Medicaid and veterans benefits, I've listed those offices in every county of Colorado in fact. All right, so just about done. Additional resources, obviously I'm with the Area Agency on Aging, so I am touting the Area Agency on Aging and our services. We published the Yellow, which is a directory of all resources that might be available in El Paso, Parker, Teller counties, or you can go to our website for more information. You can download the Yellow Book from our website. You can contact your local SHIP office. The Area Agency on Aging also houses the Ombudsman's office for our region, Ombudsmen are patient advocates for people who reside in long-term care facilities or have complaints or concerns about being in a long-term care facility. We also have a family caregiver support program, which is a program designed to help take care of a caregiver, someone who cares for another person. And we have those publications, the Colorado and our Medicaid programs and Veterans Benefits booklet, the Yellow Book. Any questions, anything that people may be looking for but don't know where to start, if you're looking for specific resources or directions or information, you're always welcome to call our agency, and we're happy to point you in the right direction if we cannot help you directly. And I think that is all I have for you today. Are there any questions? All right. All right. Well, thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.